All right, let's see who is here. Can you guys hear me? I don't think anyone is here yet. If you are here, can you give a thumbs up in the chat or any emoji for that matter? Oh, I see people slowly starting to come in. If you are here, send me an emoji in the chat to show me that you are here. That'll be nice. I see one person is here, but I don't know if that's a glitch. If you are here, send me a thumbs up or an emoji. I did move around the time quite a bit, which was my fault. So hopefully folks can join. We are going to be doing a Q&A today. Oh, we have a couple more people now. That's nice. Welcome to the live stream. We're doing a bit of a Q&A and a reading sesh together. Get a cup of tea, get a book, and we can read together. Oh, it's nice to see you. Sweet Liz, am I pronouncing that right? I hope so. Thanks for joining. I think you said that you wouldn't be able to, but I appreciate you joining. I did play around with time quite a bit, so my apologies. It's Monday, something or the other work related just kept coming up, and so I thought, you know what, let's do this at 5:30. Oh, there's a couple of us here. We can, so I'm here for a Q&A. We can chat about stuff, whatever you have questions around. I realize I have never done a Q&A on this channel, so it would be nice to get to know each other. Yeah, you were in a Teams meeting for work. Yeah, absolutely. I initially wanted to do this. I can call you Beth. Okay. Perfect. Whatever you prefer. Yeah. Not a problem. Yeah, I initially wanted to do this on a weekend, on the Saturday, but had a place to go to support a family member, and so this just didn't happen. So I am aiming for more weekend live streams for sure. I think that would just work better for everyone, including myself. So let me know if that's something that folks prefer, and we can certainly make that happen. I have attended a lot of live streams, but I have never actually done one myself, and thought it'd be a nice idea. We can perhaps read together and have a cup of tea together. I have a nice honey ginger going. Um, where is it actually? Oh, yeah, it's back there. I have a cup of honey ginger tea. I have my water. I'm reading. So I'm going to share about the book that I'm reading, but I want to know. I see there's a couple people online here. There's Eliz, and then there is somebody else. What are the books that you're currently reading? Anything interesting? Oh, I have a question. Awesome. So, how long have you been in Canada? Were you born there in India? So, I was born in India in the 90s, and my parents moved to Canada when I was a very, very early teenager. I had just turned 13. So, I have spent more of my life in Canada now than I ever did in India. It was an interesting move. I think that was the time, 90s and early 2000s, when there was just a lot of immigration to the West happening, if I remember correctly. And I guess my parents decided to hop on that boat. You just finished How to Solve Your Own Murder. Oh, the Percy Jackson series. So I have, okay, not anymore here. I moved my Percy Jackson in my second library upstairs, but I have been meaning to try that. I grew up reading Harry Potter. I was not a Percy Jackson person, but I would really like to get into Percy Jackson for sure. Um, I want to read it. I did start reading the first book a few months ago. It just felt really juvenile. So I think I just need to be in the right mind frame to read Percy Jackson. Um, and with the How to Solve Your Own Murder, I'm really curious about that. It's on my TBR. You can tell me, Liz, is that the one? How to Solve? Is that by Kristen Perrin? The one that just came out? Because that has been on my list to read, and I was hoping that somebody would encourage me to read it. Oh, that's sweet. You read Percy Jackson as your buddy, as a buddy read with your nephew. That's sweet. How did you enjoy it? I'm curious. I think I got it from my library the week that it came out. I downloaded it on my Kobo, and I got a couple pages into it, but I think I just wasn't in the right mind frame for something historical at that time, so I just abandoned it completely. Okay, low angst mystery thriller. Hmm. That sounds like something that I typically enjoy. I'm going to read that soon. I actually just finished the third one in the Dial A for Auntie series by Jesse Q. Sutanto. It's the newest one. It came out this month. It's called The Good, the Bad, and the Aunties. And I gotta say, it was actually quite fun. It's a cozy mystery, right? Like a cozy thriller. So it's completely over the top. It's very unrealistic, but it was hilarious. And it was a pleasant surprise because I actually didn't like the second one in that series at all. Yeah, wow, 4 stars for How to Solve Your Own Murder to 4.5. That's a really good rating. It has been more popular, like I think one of the more popular releases. I am going to pick it up, but I do talk a lot about cozy mysteries and thrillers on this channel. Um, you haven't read the Auntie series, I think you would like it. The first one was nice. The second one was just not my cup of tea, and I think Jessie Cusitanto has redeemed herself a little bit in my eyes with the third one because it was hilarious. But the Auntie series is quite funny. It's basically about an Indonesian Chinese family who's in California, and the main character is Medi. And I think the first book she goes on a date, and she ends up accidentally killing her date. It's not a spoiler; it's on the back cover. And then her aunties help her kind of just like clean it up and hide that. And it was, I think, my introduction to cozy mysteries. So it was hilarious. It was so over the top, but it was so hilarious. So if you're looking for a good cozy mystery, you should definitely read that. I'm currently actually reading Big Swiss by Jen Began. Began? Yes. I'm about 10% through. I have to finish it in a couple days because I borrowed it from my library and it expires soon. But have you heard of Big Swiss? Yeah. I like this. It's such a nice, lovely conversation just with the two of us. Feels so intimate and cozy. Big Swiss is interesting. I'm 10% through. It has a potential to be hilarious, but this strikes me as like a proper literary fiction. So I guess a true literary fiction is a book that is more character focused, and a contemporary fiction is a book that's more plot focused. So the plot doesn't seem to be moving too much um, in this book, but it's actually quite funny. I can see this being laugh out loud funny, but deeply moving in a weird way. So it's basically about Greta. She is working for a sex therapist, and she transcribes his sessions for him. And as she's transcribing sessions, she essentially falls in love with one of his patients, Big Swiss, who is from Switzerland, hence Big Swiss. And it's funny, there is a lot of mental health commentary in this one. So if you don't like reading mental health related stories, I don't know if you would enjoy this. Already in like the first 10%, there are mentions of suicide. It's not like detailed, but it's just like quick like mentions in a very satirical way. But it seems like this very satirical, sarcastic commentary on mental health. And it seems quite funny, actually. I'm excited to read this now that I finished the third one in the Anti series, because that one was taking up most of the space in my head. I'm going to hopefully finish this one this week. There's so much hype around it, isn't there? That's a problem. I think, yeah, you're saying Big Swiss keeps popping up on lists. There's just so many Goodreads lists to keep track of. There's just so many books to read. It is absolutely ridiculous. Not enough time, way too many books. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but yeah, I agree. I don't enjoy books that I essentially read to escape. I don't like books that have a huge focus on a lot of the unpleasant things. I like to have a good time when I'm reading a book. I try to only read like one or two sad books a year, so I can appreciate that comment. But this is not doesn't seem like a sad book. Um, yeah, okay, I would imagine. Yeah, with the vision impairment, of course. Yeah. And that's okay, right? 4 books a month is actually really good. I think there's just a lot of pressure on YouTube to read more and more every single month when really it's doesn't really matter. Right? I think read what you enjoy, read at your own pace, read what feels right. That's really the point of all of this. I think Booktube has turn reading into a competitive sport, and it doesn't really need to be a competitive sport. It's reading. It's supposed to be therapeutic. It's supposed to be fun. That's really the point of it. I had a big problem with that. I think when I initially joined YouTube, I was very much obsessed with binge reading and just reading as many things as I could. But I have started to find my own pace just because it's not possible to read tons and tons of books every single month when you have things to do. You have things to do in your life. You have jobs. We have homes to run. We have hobbies. We like to go outside for walks or exercise or whatever else it may be. So, yeah, it's an escape. Absolutely. Most people I talk to, right, like to read to escape. I think some people like to read to learn, and that's also okay. But fiction generally is. Uh, I'm not going to call it avoidance, but fiction generally is to have you like a nice escape from like your reality and helps you develop a lot of empathy. Fiction is actually really great. It's really great. There's a lot of studies, and don't quote me on this because I don't have the exact numbers, but there's a number of studies in fiction, particularly in mental health, that show us that reading fiction reduces stress levels in the body. And that makes sense to me. I was not surprised at that stat, I will tell you. Because if I'm reading nonfiction, my mind is working, I'm processing, I'm thinking, I'm reflecting. And I don't know. I don't know if I always want to do that. So you can see that this is my nonfiction here, all of this. And then all of this is my fiction. So most of my bookshelf is fiction. A little bit is nonfiction because we all need a little bit of nonfiction in our lives. And upstairs in my second library, I just keep like some books that didn't wow me, but I enjoyed them because I don't want to get rid of them. And that's not the problem that I have. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you were a science major? Yeah, you probably had to read a lot of journal articles and whatnot. What type of science did you do? Chemistry, bio, physics? I have a lot of bio and chem academics in my family. Yeah, there was a lot of pressure to do a lot of science. Yeah, you enjoy good nonfiction. Me too. Every now and then I enjoy good nonfiction. I still read a lot of mental health books and whatnot. So I guess in that sense, I am reading a lot of nonfiction. But ooh, psychobiology. Oh, that sounds so interesting. And you did neuroscience. That is so cool. That is interesting. But yeah, I can imagine the material you had to read was really quite dense. Yeah. Especially like a neuroscience program, that would be really dense and that would be particularly difficult for sure. Yeah, when you're reading so much for school or for work, you don't want to keep reading. I mean, you don't want to keep reading difficult stuff. You just want to read something that makes you laugh. You want to have fun and not particularly a lot of nonfiction. There's some like nonfiction that I have down here that I still want to read. Um, but I just can't bring myself to. I'm curious, what's the most um, interesting nonfiction you've read? Like, what's been your favorite in the recent years? 15 years to get a PhD? Ugh, that's exactly one of the reasons why I didn't pursue a PhD because I hate research and that takes a long time. Like, if your research doesn't do well, then you have to keep replicating and replicating until it gets passable results. That could take 5 years and that could take, yeah, 10 years. It's ridiculous. You work in IT. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense with, yeah, a lot of your colleagues being based out of South Asia. The IT sector is huge there. Lab Girl. Let's look this one up. Lab Girl. Ooh, I have not read this. Charan. Oh, it's about plant life, about work, love, and the mountains that can be moved when these two things come together. Oh, that sounds interesting. I have some other people I see on my Goodreads who have read it. How interesting. She's been recognized as Time Magazine's 100 most influential people. That's an accomplishment. Okay, I have marked it to read. Thank you very much for that recommendation. Insomniac City. I am supposed to work the other way. I think I am supposed to give recommendations. So I love it. I love it that I'm getting some recommendations from this chat. This is amazing. Oh, this also sounds interesting. I see somebody else has just joined. We are talking about our favorite nonfiction books. So if you stick around for 5 more minutes, you will be able to join the chat and you can tell us what's your favorite nonfiction or fiction book. Oh, that's really interesting. Bill Hayes was Oliver Sacks' partner. You know what? I think my brother would really like this. I'm going to add this to my list. I'm going to browse through it and I'm going to share it with my brother. I think we'd like it. My TBA or TBR stole my recommendations. Good. I am glad to hear. That's why I'm here. I like to share books. Makes me really excited to share. I don't know if you can even see, like, oh, back here, like my little TBR card. I didn't take it away. It has so many books that I still need to read. So one of the things that I wanted to do today was for us to read together. So feel free to grab a book. Perhaps we can do like a 30-minute sprint together, read something nice. I'm going to be continuing Big Swiss. If I'm not feeling up to it, I am considering picking up another book. As I say that, I don't know what that one is going to be. My TBR is just so huge that every time I feel tempted to find a new book, I get absolutely overwhelmed by the number of books that are on there. Oh, that sounds so nice. You're going on a week, like a long weekend bookish trip. That sounds so cool. I didn't even know bookish trips were a thing. Please tell me more if you feel comfortable with that. You just spend the sprint picking your next book. Yeah. Use your sprint the way that you would like. You know what? The sprint is here for accountability. Okay. If you want to sit and read a book together that you've been putting off, or you just haven't found the time for reading, let's do that. Or the sprint, you can have it to tidy up the space around you if you'd like, or yeah, pick your next book. Kindle libraries overflowing. Yeah, mine too. It's the Kindle sales or well, I guess like I have a Kobo, but it's like these like ebook sales that get me. It's like $2, $3 for a book, and I buy them like it's my job, and it isn't. So awesome. So I found a really nice playlist actually on Spotify that I think folks will enjoy. let's listen to some classical music. And yes, it's like all the songs from all the Disney movies, but it's an instrumental version and classical version. It's called it's called Disney Piano Study. I don't know if you can see. We'll try that. We'll try how that goes. That sounds really cool. Library hotel in New York, going book shopping. Okay, and MoMA, yeah. That sounds like a cool trip. Good for you. I'm glad you're doing that. We need more bookish trips in our lives. Hey, maybe I'll do one too in the future. Maybe I'll organize one. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, well, feel free to grab a cup of tea, grab a book that you'd like, and let's read together for a bit. And the chat's also open here. I'm still here. I'm going to be reading. Hopefully, as more people join, then we can get some more people joining us for the live stream. I think you can hear the music. Yes, happy reading to you too. Oh, nothing peaceful, nothing like peaceful classical music, is there? I don't think so. And this one's some Cinderella. How cute. I think we read for, what was that? Half an hour? 25 minutes? Did folks make progress with what they were reading? I got a chapter through, but like the chapters in Big Swiss are huge. So I did like a really big chapter. So I'm proud of myself. A chapter and a half, actually. Yeah, almost additional 10%. That's something. I saw that we had a couple more people join us while we were doing the reading sprint. I'm curious, what did you guys read? Liz, did you find something? I know you said you were gonna check. You're gonna decide on a book. You're gonna go through your TBR list. Did you find something to read? Because sometimes just the choice is paralyzing, folks, isn't it? You chose a book. Nice. What did you pick? That was very productive of you. It's not easy. Not easy to pick a book and then stick to it, especially when the TBR is too long. I would know because I'm looking at my TBR right now and it's long. It's long. And we have one more person on here. They are silent. You're already laughing? Oh. Is it a funny one? I hope it's a good book. Oh, nice. You turned in my recommendations. Nice. Well, I hope you pick something good and I hope that you like it. There's one of the things that I hate the most is picking a book and it being a dud. I hate that. I hate that so much. I hate DNFing books. It is necessary sometimes, but I don't like it. It makes me feel bad. Because somebody's work, it's somebody's creativity, it's somebody's bread and butter. And for me to just say, oh, it doesn't work for me and put it down. But still, you know. No, it didn't come through. You just said I chose a book in honor of your first live. Unless I am already laughing. Is the name of the book? I don't think it is. Yeah, that book doesn't exist. I am excited though to read. Oh, maybe it is being censored. Interesting. Oh, that one. Okay, the erotic stories for Punjabi widows. Yeah, good choice. Good choice. Yeah, I could see why that would be censored out, that word. But oh, good choice. I really hope you like it. It's one of my top 10 books. But no pressure. That's okay. That's okay if you don't like it. But I love that book. I have it back here on this shelf. It's so funny. Yeah. Oh, let me know how you like it. I'll be curious. Jeez. Phone's all right, not broken, folks. But I hope you enjoy it. Let me know Thanks for joining me for this live today. It was my first live. It was fun. Time flew by. Actually, yeah, it's been on your radar for years. Yeah, because I think it was on Reese Witherspoon's book club list. I want to say 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So it's been making its rounds for a while. But thanks, folks, for joining me. We didn't hear too much from the couple other people who joined in between, but that's okay. Whatever you're comfortable with. I do like the idea of doing reading sprints. I think I'm certainly going to do more reading sprints. Let me know what you think about perhaps like one sprint a month, if not more. I'm also contemplating the idea of starting my own Patreon channel where you can join as members, and there will be certain perks as well. And with that, I would love to do once a week reading sprints together, or just like productivity sprints would be really nice, where for that 1 hour, we just do whatever creative project that we have, or just like anything that we want to be productive with. So it could just be if you need accountability and you need to just work for 1 hour, we support one another, or if we support one another as you tidy your space or you read the book that you've been putting off. I think productivity sprints and reading sprints would actually be a lot of fun. Yeah, no, don't be sorry. I'm so glad that you asked all these questions. That was awesome. You know what? I always like to think that if I don't like to get too caught up in numbers. Okay, so even if there was 2 or 3 people at some point that joined today, if my room right now had the 3 people who joined today in it, it would be pretty full, right? So I like to think of it like that. And 3 physical people or 2 physical people, or even 1 physical person is so incredible that you would take time out from your day to do this. But enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see you with a video this week. I actually just finished filming my most anticipated reads of April. Doesn't include the new Emily Henry book. I will do that in another video, but 3 of the books that I was highly, highly anticipating in the first quarter of the year, I got them, I read them, and I'm going to share my thoughts. Oh, I'm glad you had fun. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Enjoy your evening, and I'll see you at the next reading sprint / productivity sprint.